Taking aim, how a state senator plans to shield Missourians from federal gun legislation.
A major league surprise. The National Guard is helping 2 Missouri kids honor their dad.
And controversy at the Capitol. A senator claims money for office supplies was used for illegal activities. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
KOMU 8 News at 6 starts with breaking news.
We begin with breaking news. We now have a verdict in the Shelley Richter trial. Good evening. I'm Danielle McCarthy.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. The verdict came down just about 20 minutes ago. Let's go to KOMU 8's Casey Kirshner live at the Cole County Courthouse for the latest. Casey?
I'm here outside the Cole County Courthouse where we've just been told what the verdict is of the Shelley Richter trial that we've been covering for the past 3 days. Now, the jury came back and found her not guilty on the first count, which was abuse of a child, but guilty on that second count, which is endangering the welfare of a child. Now, we're talking about Lane Schaefer, who was injured at Richter's home in August of 2010. Now, she's looking at up to 7 years in prison for this offense, and it is a Class C felony. The jury took about 6 hours before they came back with their verdict. And in the courtroom, there were a lot of mixed emotions, anywhere from happiness to disappointment. But mostly just everyone's pretty relieved that they, were able to know what that outcome was. At this time, there are no comments from the defense, but they do have 25 days to file for a new trial. And if that doesn't happen, then the proceedings will go on as far as sentencing and things like that. Reporting live from Jefferson City, Casey Kirshner, KOMU 8 News.
Thanks, Casey. Lawmakers said today the Department of Revenue lied about a federal grant and how to used it for private data for driver's licenses.
KOMU 8's Garrett Bergquist joins us live from our Capitol newsroom to explain the controversy.
The director told a Senate committee this morning that the agency is using a Department of Homeland Security grant to collect data on people who apply for driver's licenses. That data includes birth certificates and social security numbers, as well as biometric data like facial structure. This comes after the director first claimed the department had not received the grant and then said the grant was used for office supplies. State law requires the Department of Revenue to delete any biometric data it collects, but the director said no such protocol exists. Senators from both parties say they are appalled by the department's conduct and the risks ordinary Missourians have been exposed to.
Now anyone can just hack into people's computers and things of that sort. And what if they get all of those birth certificates? People will be in a chaotic way.
Do you really need to be giving data to the Department of Revenue and their contractor that they don't even need for any purpose to issue a driver's license, as they've been issuing driver's licenses now for quite some time without it?
The Department of Revenue refused to answer any of KOMU 8's questions. Schaefer says he will hold a hearing to look into how the data was used. Reporting live from the Capitol, Garrett Bergquist, KOMU 8 News.
We had a good looking day in mid-Missouri, but it was a little on the cool side, topping out today at only 43 degrees after a chilly 26-degree low. This morning, we remain clear, though. Minutes right here on KOMU 8 News at 6.
More state capitol news. Lawmakers there are set to discuss a bill tonight that would aim to further protect the rights of Missouri gun owners.
Tonight's agenda says the Senate will perfect the bill sponsored by Republican Senator Kurt Schaefer. KOMU 8's Joe Chiato joins us now in the studio with the details.
Brittany and Danielle, we've seen a lot of bills dealing with gun laws come up in recent months. What makes this one different, though, is that if passed, it would require voter approval in Missouri's next general election. Now, the bill aims to add new language to the Constitution that would allow citizens to present a claim against the Missouri General Assembly or General Attorney. Now, that claim could be presented in instances when lawmakers do not defend Missourians' rights to bear arms against federal infringement. The amendment would ultimately define the right to bear arms as inalienable and protect Missourians from federal gun control. Senator Schaefer filed the measure back in January. That was shortly after President Obama presented plans for stricter gun control laws. Earlier today, I talked with the owner of a shooting range who says he hopes the bill is passed.
I was so glad to see that somebody actually decided to write some kind of legislation that would prevent somebody else from trying to infringe upon those freedoms that we hold so dear.
Now, of course, following a year of notable gun violence, obviously not everyone is in support of such legislation. Now, we posted on our Facebook page right here earlier today to find out what you guys thought about the bill, and we came across some different reaction. Right here, we can see Steve Anthony says that this is all for show. Republicans want to make it clear to their constituents they're standing up for Second Amendment rights. We get it. Time to move on. Now, once again, if that is passed, Missourians will get to vote on the approval of the bill in the November 2014 general election.
Jefferson City officials are speaking out today after 2 resigned yesterday. Jefferson City's Public Works Director, Roger Schwartz, submitted his resignation along with the city communication manager, Michelle Galiba. A statement you sent yesterday contained no reasons for the resignations. Turns out it's a money issue, a $1.68 million budget deficit. Schwartz says Jefferson City has found itself in a significant financial crisis.
We think we've made all the cuts that are available that won't affect personnel at this point. So now we're going to have to look at personnel reductions to be able to get to the numbers that the council's asked for.
Galiba resigned for different reasons. She didn't want to talk with KOMU 8 on camera, but said on the phone this morning she resigned to focus on new opportunities and spend more time with her family. Schwartz's resignation is effective April 1st and Galiba's March 26th.
The Catholic Church has a new leader today. Cardinals elected 76-year-old Jorge Bergoglio, the Archbishop of Buenos Aires, to be the Pope today. He chose the papal name papal. He's the first pontiff from the Americas and the first from outside Europe in more than a millennium. Bergoglio was among the 115 cardinal electors who took the oath of secrecy in the Sistine Chapel yesterday before the beginning of the conclave to elect the next Pope. He also reportedly finished second in the 2005 conclave that elected Pope Benedict XVI. Thousands of miles from the Vatican, dozens gathered at the Newman Center on MU's campus today.
Young and old came in from the streets to hear Pope Francis's first words. KOMU 8's Cody LaGrose spent the day getting local reaction to the church's new leader. Cody?
Brittany and Danielle, 30 people filled the Newman Center lounge upon the announcement of a new pope. From adults to students, it seemed all were elated with the newly elected head of the Catholic Church. Now, the Newman Center is located on MU's campus, allowing many students easy access to practice their Catholic faith. I found it especially interesting how many young adults were connecting with the 76-year-old Pope. Now, with texts, tweets, everyone glued to the television and Facebook updates, the room was buzzing with wants and goals for the new papacy. Interestingly, World Youth Day, an event for young people organized by the Catholic Church, is being held in Argentina this year. That's the home of Pope Francis. And with people at the Newman Center planning to participate, it brings goals of the new Pope closer to Colombia.
I hope that our new Pope can maybe introduce the world to what the Catholic faith is now, because it's growing and changing, and there is a lot more love and universal respect and inclusion than I think a lot of people know.
Now, stay tuned to KOMU 8 News at 9 and 10. We have a message from a woman in Argentina with a Colombia connection.
2 Missouri kids who have lost so much got the experience of a lifetime.
Coming up in a Sarah's story, how a Missouri National Guard unit is helping a soldier's kids remember their dad.
What's up, everybody? I'm live in Nashville, Tennessee, where the SEC basketball tournament is just minutes from getting underway. I'll have a live report for you coming up later in sports.
And the weather news is good news. You're going to like the next couple of days. That's coming up next on KOMU 8 News at 6.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather with Chief Weathercaster Dave Schmidt.
And a good evening to you on that new...
Okay.
A Cardinals game can be a fun experience.
But for 2 Missouri kids, it was the chance of a lifetime to honor their father.
The Missouri National Guard unit is remembering a fallen soldier in a very unique way.
In tonight's Sarah's story, former KOMU anchor and reporter Sarah Hill, who's now with Veterans United Network, tells us about a major league surprise for 2 Missouri children orphaned by a grenade attack.
I'm gonna go get a ball.
Whoa, that's way gone. 12-year-old Alex and 13-year-old...
The SEC tournament begins today.
We'll have a live report from Nashville coming up next in sports.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports with Chris Gervino.
Hello, everyone. We are just minutes away from the start of the SEC basketball tournament in Nashville. The Missouri Tigers begin play tomorrow night. KOMU 8's Jake Schlegel is live from Nashville and joins us now. Jake?
Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, everybody. It's day one of the SEC basketball tournament. Mizzou has the day off today. They will play tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. The Tigers, they will take on the winner of the Texas A&M Auburn game. That's tonight at 9 o'clock. The Tigers, they are familiar with both of those teams, though. They played Auburn at home on February 2nd. They controlled the entire game, won by 14 points, but then just 5 days later at A&M.
Sports.
An Alaska man and his dogs have made history at the Iditarod. Mitch Seavey captured his second championship in the dog sled race. And Seavey is also the father of last year's champion, who is the youngest champion at 25. At 53 years old, Seavey is now the oldest Iditarod champion to date.
Keeping it in the family.
Yeah, cute.
Here's what we're looking at for KOMU 8 News at 9 and 10. Lawmakers are talking taxes for transportation.
And a papal connection right here at home. See how today's decision in the Vatican is personally affecting one Columbia resident.
And with a mostly clear sky, we expect those evening temperatures to drop pretty quickly into the middle 30s. Overnight, we're looking at a low temperature right at about 30. That's about when those southerly winds begin to move into the area. For tomorrow, we're looking at a little nicer day, 61 degrees, but with some afternoon clouds.
And looking good pretty much the whole weekend.
Yes.
It's about time.
We should rank upper 60s by Friday. Looks
right.
really good.
Thanks, Dave. Remember, you can always check KOMU.com for the latest news, weather, and sports. We'll see you for KOMU 8 News at 9 and 10.